Name code. Dustin here. Fantasy football. I can't believe how close it is. I love it. We're talking quarterbacks. But first, a message from our CEO.
DraftKings, if you want a free Smack Talk shirt, which I know everybody does, click on the card up there, follow the link in the forum or in the description, or go to DraftKings.com, use the promo code FST, sign up, deposit $5 or more, we'll give you a shirt, and DraftKings will give you entry into a cash game, a free entry into a cash game. It will be thousands of dollars of prizes that you can use now or wait until football season, and we'll be here before you know it. Check out DraftKings, see what all the hype is about.
And we're going to do weekly videos to tell you what values you should get on DraftKings and whatnot.
We'll win you some money.
We're going to help you win loot.
We'll win you some money.
It's a win-win-win. If you do it now, you get a t-shirt.
Tier 1.
Right, Tier 1. Just going to talk about our #1 overall quarterback, and it ain't Aaron Rodgers. It's Andrew Luck. I mean, coming into the league, we knew this kid was going to be great, and he has lived up to every single expectation. Fantasy-wise, you gotta love the fact that their defense did not get any better year over year, or barely better year over year, so they're gonna have to throw a ton to keep up in games, to score a lot of points. I'm making this call. I'm projecting Andrew Luck over 5,000 passing yards, over 40 passing touchdowns, and 5 rushing touchdowns. Monster year coming for the kid.
And I don't think I mentioned it, you gotta sign up before the start of the football season to get the free shirt. So just don't.
And at least $5. Did you say that too?
I think I said that. But no.
Who knows? Just sign up. It's going to be awesome.
Tier 2, 2 more guys, very interesting. Russell Wilson, amazing year last year. When you look at his throwing stats, you're not all that impressed. But then look at his rushing yards. He's like a running back out there with how many yards he gets. Obviously, huge upside there. And then Peyton Manning kind of showed his age a little bit towards the end of last year when he got banged up and they were just trying to protect him. And they're running the ball a ton. I mean, obviously that could happen again this year, which what I think is probably his last season. So just be cautious of that. You know, at the end of the year, he might not be there when it counts the most, but he'll help you get there.
All right, Tier 3, highlighting 2 guys. The first one's Big Ben. The Steelers have been consistently passing more and more year after year. If you watched the wide receiver video, you heard me talk about it. Big Ben had the 4th most passing attempts in the league last year. The thing that I also love about him, though, is Le'Veon Bell really helps him in his passing numbers because Le'Veon's so great at catching the ball, and it's Dustin's favorite word. Bell's great after, or doing the yak. I screwed that up. So let's talk about Matt Ryan now. Matt Ryan, I really love his weapons, right? I love Julio. I think Roddy's still going to be solid for you. But then the rookie that they have coming in, the running game, I think that'll actually hopefully make the safeties at least respect the run a little bit. So Matt Ryan's always been solid. I think he could have a great year. I think he'll improve on his 4,600 passing yards and his 28 touchdowns from a season ago.
I want to talk about 2 people in Tier 4. First one's Ryan Tannehill. I'm a huge fan. He was a top 10 fantasy quarterback last year in most league settings, and I think he's just going to continue to grow. Some of the reports have already said he's been coming in with a lot more leadership, and I think that that's what you like to see. You know, they have Stills out there now, they have Cameron out there now. He's got some weapons, and I like what he can do with his legs. And then I want to talk about Matthew Stafford. You know, we do have him out of the top 10. Yes, he did throw for 5,000 plus yards back in 2011, but his passing yards have gone down every year since then. Obviously, there is a potential of him going back. He's done it before. He's still young enough. But at this point, you know, we think, you know, he falls just out of the top 10.
There's just 10 other guys we'd rather have.
Yeah, there you go.
That's all that means. All right, Tier 5, let's talk about 2 young guys. The first one, I really like Jameis Winston, and I like his upside. I've heard us talk about it before, but it's just the weapons he has. You know, he's got a tight end that I like. He's got Evans, Vincent Jackson, just a lot of upside here with the kid. He isn't going to get you a bunch of rushing yards. I don't know where people get that from. He's not going to run the ball much. He is a prototypical NFL passing quarterback. Then the other guy we're going to talk about is Teddy Bridgewater, and while I like him, I don't like him as much as a lot of other people. I've seen Teddy Bridgewater ranked above, like, close to Tannehill, basically, in a lot of drafts, which is just outrageous to me. I mean, last year he only threw for less than 3,000 yards. True, he missed, like, I think 3 games, but he only had 14 passing touchdowns as well. It just wasn't great overall numbers. I don't see him taking a Tannehill, like, leap for this year. So keep that in mind.
Tier 6, young guy, old guy I want to talk about. First one's Blake Bortles.
He's the young guy.
He is the young guy. Jacksonville's offense is going to go from bad to fair. I mean, they're headed in the right direction. They got a rookie running back with the Eldon. They got Julius Thomas. And Bortles, you got to love what this guy can do with his legs. Over 400 rushing yards last year. that alone makes him fantasy relevant as a solid QB2.
I know the old guy.
And the old guy,
Carson Palmer.
Carson Palmer.
He's a Bengals fan, and he still loves Carson.
Still love Carson. Here's the thing. He was playing amazing before he got hurt last year.
He was.
He has solid weapons out there, and I do not think it's crazy for him to throw around 4,200 yards and 25-plus touchdowns. It's going to be a stretch for him to be a QB1, but again, at this point, you know, where you're looking at, you're just looking for a solid QB2, and he could definitely be that if he stays healthy.
And especially with the offense of the runner, right? That's what really, you know, made him kind of turn back the clocks.
They have weapons. I mean, he can put up some stats.
All right, Tier 7, just talking about the young kid, talking about Marcus Mariota, and I don't love the kid. And Dustin's going to say, well, you can get those rushing yards, you get 10 rushing yards, equals 25 passing, and I get it, right? So he does have some legs. He can run. He has legs that are good at running.
I think they all have legs.
They all have legs. But I don't like his weapons out there. I don't see who he's really going to throw the ball to. And the offensive line isn't great, so I don't think he's going to have a lot of time to throw deep passes. I just see him having a lot of headaches this coming year. So if I'm like a Dynasty Keeper League, just a side note, I would spend in an auction version a lot more on Winston than Mariota.
And then the last tier gets pretty ugly in this tier, but I do want to talk about Derek Carr out there with Oakland. He had some flashes. You know, he had some moments last year where he looked okay, but that offense just, I don't think is really, you know, or with Jacksonville, I feel like they're going to take a step. Oakland, maybe a smaller step. I mean, he does have Crabtree. He's got the rookie Cooper. So he does have a little bit more weapons, but, you know, at this point in the draft, you're really reaching on a quarterback. But out of these guys, I think he definitely has the biggest upside. There's your quarterbacks. Anchor right here, Dustin right here. Sign up
it's
for
a quarterback
DraftKings.
show. You throw one as well.
It looked better than it was, trust me.
It looked worse than it was, trust me.
Oh, okay.
Nice comeback. Nice comeback.